In this week's episode, we discuss the astrological transits of the new moon in Aquarius, Mercury stationing direct, Mars sextile Jupiter, and the Sun conjunct Saturn, what they all mean, why you need to know, and more. To hear more of this week's transits, tune into this episode of Astrological Intentions. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Rueve, along with the Serenity Spritzer herself, Sandy Rueve.
Spritz.
It is episode 184, January 31st. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have a short week. Monday, January 31st, new moon in Aquarius.
A whole lotta.
Thursday, February 3rd, Mercury stations direct.
Is there a connection?
Friday, February 4th, Mars sextile Jupiter.
And what about this one?
And Sun conjunct Saturn.
Sober and practical.
Then in Talisman Times, Sandy has finished up to unfold the silver lining, as well as the upcoming one to increase financial gain. We are announcing our new Talisman of the Month, so stay tuned for that. And on the horizon, we have many events for you coming up, including this week's CWS webinar, the USA's Pluto return you won't want to miss. Then in our house, Sandy and I have been cheering on our Bengals. So we have a little talk about that, as well as a little mini surprise. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
And so you finally know you control where you go.
Hello, Serenity Spritzer.
Well, are you talking about
Yes.
what we do every time before we get on to our
Podcast.
recording of our podcast? We use affirmation spray.
And it's these amazing sprays that smell fabulous. We were next to a vendor that sold them, I don't know, 6 years
It was
ago.
to celebrate your life.
It was a long
Phoenix,
time
yeah.
ago. And we stocked up on these. We ran through them. And then I've now been trying to persuade her to get us as a wholesale account because I want to share these sprays with everyone. I absolutely love them. Stay tuned for that. I really hope it happens. But yeah, let's go direct to all of our listeners. Thank you, everybody, for sending in that soul food. It's delicious. It's nutritious. Thank you. Thank you. We got a 5-star review from Henry, and we don't get a whole lot of guys,
Adoring us. Maybe not me. You.
No. No, they're reviews.
Yeah.
So I when they happen, I get really excited. So Henry says, the best life, career, purpose, and guidance. I wanted to better understand my implications of my Venus star point being on top of my natal Mercury and what that even means, as well as researching optimal areas to reside through my relocated charts. Sandy and Susan were very patient and uplifting in explaining the individual aspects and placements thoroughly. At the time, they were honest and direct, which I believe will prove immensely helpful in my decision-making as my life and career develop over the next several years.
Woo-woo.
Very matter of fact. I liked it.
Yeah. Thank you, Henry. That was very nice. It was great chatting with you, and I know we will again.
Yes. So let's move in the transits. This is a short week, and we first discussed this new moon in Aquarius, this beginning of the Chinese Lunar New Year last week. However, let's just brush up on that. Monday, today, January 31st, the new moon in Aquarius.
This is at 12 degrees of Aquarius, and this is at 11:46 p.m. So this is right before midnight tonight, if you're listening to this on time on Monday the 31st. And this is a whole lotta ... right? A whole lotta. And, new moons are when the moon has traveled around the zodiac and is met up with the sun. And obviously the sun and the moon are both at the 12 degrees Aquarius point. But so is Saturn.
Ah, okay. So is that where the much more stuff comes in?
Yeah, except that it's also square Uranus. So here we are. This is like a very testy lunation. It's the oomph or the power to overcome obstacles. Because what this does is this new moon reactivates the recent square. Now, if you've been following, the Saturn square Uranus has been the number one aspect that was very active 3 times in 2021 as we are trying to reconnect and redevelop, restructure all human beings in the world, in that there is not caste or levels, right? And that we're trying to identify everyone as equal.
Yeah, the equality.
So here, and we're past that. We do get a little bit of a refrain in October of 2022, but the majority of it has occurred. But we get to be throughout this year, how do we settle this? How do we at least make some reparations for some things? And I know here we live in Evanston, Illinois, and this was I wasn't planning on saying this, but we were here a year ago. Well, maybe 6 months ago, when Evanston, Illinois is the very first town, city, place in the United States to have Black history reparations. And they started, I just listened to it on the news in Evanston the other day, that they're starting to move, I think it's 25 of these grants that are being awarded for about $14,000 a piece.
Wow.
So again, it's reactivating this recent square, so the Saturnian energy really can't hold this chaotic, this chaos, this uproar, this change. Can it? Because we got the sun and the moon here with Saturn.
Okay.
And we are trying to overcome these obstacles. And so there's a whole lot of stuff going on. Right. It kind of reminds me the bricks are falling down. Where are they falling? Can we reuse them? I'm a bricklayer's daughter.
Right.
And now I'm a bricklayer's sister and a bricklayer's aunt. Right. Because my brother and his family has taken over my dad's bricklaying business. And so, yeah, you can disassemble a structure, a building,
and reuse
those bricks. We don't need to chop them up and crush them. So how can we reuse as these are coming down? Is we have to take one piece by piece and do the chipping in very detailed, specific areas to get that brick to dislodge from the mortar.
Okay.
Right.
And so because this is is this the astrological new year for the new moon cycles? Because it is the Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year. That's
the Chinese New Year. No, we will use the first new moon after the
spring equinox. Okay. All right.
Which discusses more about the Easter celebrations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So shall we move on to the next transit?
Do it.
Thursday, February 3rd, Mercury stations direct.
Yeah, phew, at 10:13 p.m. at night. And is there a connection? And what I mean by this is Mercury is at 24 degrees of Capricorn, right within 2 degrees of where Venus stationed retrograde in December 18th. So if we can review what was happening, say the week of Christmas, the week before Christmas, Venus retrograded here, went back over the 24, and we'll talk about Pluto. There's a lot of Pluto. This is a lot of transformational energy that's getting activated, not just in our words, our comments, our opinions, our thoughts, our writings, what we listen to and what we share, but it's also what we love and what we desire. And things like that money or our value system really is off, right? And we're trying to right that as well. And so this Mercury stationing direct in the same area where Venus was is what are we having to reconsider? Mercury has to reconsider Mercury subjects and Venusian, Venus subjects. So we have to move them forward. And it's okay if this is going to take some time. We will be watching next week. We will be watching the Venus-Mars interplay of the Hieros Gamos, of moving back and forth. There, talk about a dance, which you mentioned to me earlier about 10 minutes ago. We'll talk about that. But this is literally Venus and Mars starting next week, all through February. We'll be catching up with each other, which is rare. We'll talk about that. But anyway, it's moving forward, and it's okay for this to take a little bit of slower momentum, but it will start moving forward.
Yes, kind of like my drive today. I had a lot of slow momentum going because we had a big winter storm here in Chicago, and just trying to make sure that you're gaining momentum instead of moving sideways is very important. So let's move on to February 4th, Friday, Mars sextile Jupiter.
So think about this. Mars is in Capricorn. Very strong. He's exalted here. So he has all the wherewithal, all the resources. He has everything he needs at his fingertips.
He's climbing the ladder
to push something. But in Capricorn, he wants constructive purpose. Right. So luckily, he'll be here. He's only at 7 degrees at this point on the 4th, and he'll be here the entire February and a little bit of March. But when I say, and what about this one? Because these two planets we're squaring each other on December 8th.
So this is like a look back as well.
So look back, and maybe you don't need to, as this situation that was once difficult is getting easier now. So try it on for size. It fits. You know, it's like the shoe fits. This is kind of like a Cinderella, right? It's the new age Cinderella trying to fit something into something that's not fit for it. You know, when you say, you know, am I fit for the position? Or if I, you know, and, you know, does it mean, are you mentally, physically, emotionally in a stable movement that you can move forward? Okay. So here Mars is making this sextile. Sextile says take the opportunity to Jupiter in Jupiter's own sign. So these are two really big power forces of Jupiter saying more. Hey, what about expansion? And Mars is saying, hey, let's get some things done. And they're both in their own
super productive.
And they're both having one exalted and one in domicile is like, come on, things should be fitting. Things are like that puzzle piece is fitting into place. You're fitting into something that was really hard to, something around December 8th when you didn't know. And I have something to say about that when we get to our house.
Yes, we
about
do.
Andrew, about my son, your brother. An announcement there. So that's all I have to say about that.
Yes.
So continue on.
Well, same day we have the sun conjunct Saturn.
Yeah, and this is at 15 degrees and of Aquarius. We know that this is Aquarius season. You know, yes, it's cold. We've got nor'easters coming in. We have snowstorms. We were 17 below zero the other day at O'Hare Airport. Of course, that was wind chill.
Right.
So yeah, this is the cold period of the year, and this is sober and practical. In other words, sober and practical. I don't care what I look like. These gloves are, and my 2 hats, and my 5 scarves, and my mask because it makes me warm. I breathe my own warm air.
Yeah, it's the best time to wear.
Yeah, but you know, all joking aside, you know, what are you responsible for, and what are you not responsible for? Be realistic. What are your expectations? What do you expect of yourself, from your partner, from a job, from time spent on something? What are you, you know, even if you're looking for peace, even if you're looking for, you know, a calm hour of your day, that's what you can be responsible for. It doesn't always have responsibility as like duty. I mean, it does mean duty.
Well, yeah, and it's not always about the responsibility to others. We also have a huge responsibility to ourselves. And I think that this correlates so well with a conversation I had the other day that, you know, being, you know, focused on yourself and focused on your own dreams is not selfish. You know, in the bad sense of the word selfish, where you can really double down and take, whatever you have yourself and push that along to your dream. And that should not be seen by others, as this like selfish move, because it's like you're chasing your dreams. Everyone deserves that. So I think that in this, with this like Sun conjunct Saturn, it's like stay in your path, stay in your lane, and commit every day to that path, and still be loving to the people around you, but don't sacrifice yourself for what others want you to do.
And it's true. And when you say that, it reminds me of, someone wanting to do something but needs your assistance or needs your help when they really didn't care, right? It's like,
you were going to be a crutch anyway.
I don't know. Just we could think about, eating healthy or something, right? And it's like, okay, I'm going to make sure that I have developed a menu for the week, as the main head chef in the house.
Right.
That I'm going to prepare recipes that are what you desire. And I'll go do the shopping, because there is a different kind of shopping list.
Right.
There is actually a list that you have to write out when you're creating a menu from recipes.
Right.
And things that are not your use of, I need a little butter, I need a little pasta.
Right.
I got some sauce and I got a meal.
Right.
Where it's like I have to go down the list and through the aisles. So there's effort there. And then you're making these beautiful dishes for what your companion is asking for. And you find out that they went to lunch at Burger King. Right? It's like, what? You're eating ice cream now? You picked up ice cream for us? Honey, I've so again, staying in your lane. And again, if we're thinking about this Sun conjunct any planet, it's the Cazimi of. So here it's the Cazimi of Saturn. It's like, what are you responsible for? And what are you not responsible for?
It's huge.
Let it go.
Right.
Focus on the yes.
Yes. And as a quick aside, this also is reminding me a lot of the retreat that you had to take on by yourself, and to know what was your responsibility and what was not your responsibility. Not to be the tour guide, entertainer, teacher, confidant at all times, because we kept reiterating that this was also a part of your experience as well, stepping into that field. Like, I don't even know if I would want to run a retreat by myself. That was very sobering and very practical of you. After I said, you know what, I can't do it, you said, you know what, I want to do this. And you trailed on, you trailblazed from there. And
we all of us on this retreat nailed it. Every single one of them nailed it. And you know what? They've nailed next year too. They're all coming back in the same group.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so I think
that's it for transits this week.
Yeah. I felt like I had to string that one along a little bit more, because we didn't have anything near what we normally do. So let's move on to Talisman Times. You have finished up Saturday, January 29th, to unfold the silver lining.
Come on.
I really like this one.
Awesome is this, to unfold the silver lining. These situations are clearing up ahead, and now only in my rearview mirror should I glance there. What is being rectified and how that is occurring is just short of a miracle. I am blessed beyond all measures of rod and ring. Thanks, Venus. Because at this point, Venus has stationed, I did this a couple days ago. Venus stationed direct already during that period. And the moon was making this conjunction to the Venus, saying, oh my gosh, here we are. There's this really nice connection to what it is that's you're moving forward. And then it makes that aspect to the Jupiter. So the moon is making, boom, hitting Venus, station direct, and then boom, sextiling Jupiter. So this is about seeing the silver lining, maybe even the gold lining. Maybe I should have called it the gold lining.
The golden lining.
But it's really unfolding. It's always been there. You're now just able to get into it to unfold.
And what I like here too is that forward movement that you talk about, because sometimes we like holding on to the past because things are so good back then. or in that comfort space. We know how good it is. But when we can just keep the momentum forward, keep moving forward, and then we trust that the silver lining is, coming with us, that we can look back at any point, even there, after we've moved forward past those moments, and look back and say, wow, that was a great time as well. And it just keeps compounding.
It becomes more silver, right? It becomes more lining.
Right.
It becomes more apparent and noticeable. It's also, the moon was in a new moon phase here. So that's another, waxing, taking action, kind of moving forward.
Yeah.
Kind of,
that
shine
newness.
Shine on of the silver lining. So
the novelty.
Yeah.
So let's move on to your upcoming talisman, and that's Monday, February 7th, to increase financial gain. I feel like this one's going to go fast.
I profit through my creative ways. My success and good fortune are banking this grateful wealth.
Banking.
You like
Bank
how I did
it.
that? And this is, let's go over this. This is, the moon is in the second lunar mansion here, which is about, moon is in the second house, which is about finances. And the moon is making a really nice sextile to the ruler of the chart, which is Pisces, which also is Jupiter, while Jupiter is making this conjunction to the ascendant. So this is about financial gain, personal property, money, anything that has to do with gains of any type, whether it's material possessions or pieces of paper that are like savings bonds or IRAs or something in the material world, even if it's a paper or if it's even the cyber.
The crypto, yes. Very cool. And I mean, I see this one going pretty quickly.
And so this is not till a week, it depends. It's February 7th, but I'm doing this early in the morning. I'll happen to be in Cincinnati, Ohio at this time. So if you're interested in this is a time to pre-buy this, because you'll be involved with it for me,
right?
With me. So there you go. Okay.
So let's move on. Oh, wait, hold on. We have the Talisman of the Month, and that's being announced here for the first time. So starting February 1st, to develop new technology as a skill will be our Talisman of the Month. It's one of a kind. It is only $222, so it's a discounted talisman, and you also get a shipping credit when you purchase. That link in the description will show you exactly where to go and where to find it. So let's move on to the horizon. We have finished our Venus Heliacal Rise. That was the talisman ceremony where we created these beautiful earrings with roses. That talisman webinar is ready and available for download. As soon as you purchase it, you get the video. You also get the slides, and Sandy shortly emails you the packet, so all of the personal handout that you need, as well as we ship your talisman to you. We really love that. There's only, I think, 5 left of this talisman ceremony, so definitely take advantage of this, because it is about that, rising up to meet our feminine power. So also, you can watch now the astrology forecast for February. We have recorded that, and if you were there live, thank you so much for joining us. Sandy and Susan were discussing all of February's dates, things to be aware of, things to be a little bit more cautious of, and the major transits for the month. We also have the cheat sheet, so don't forget to download that as well. If you did purchase the year of 2022 with all of the cheat sheets, you should already have that email in your inbox from, honestly, I want to say maybe a week and a half ago. So if you are having any trouble accessing those, email me, alex@intentionbeads.com. I'm happy to help you. I am also going to be creating a little tutorial video for all of the people who have joined us in future webinars, downloads, everything like that. I will have a whole way where you can access all of your videos, handouts, slides. So
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding,
That
ding,
sounds like
ding.
a winner.
okay, so this week, so now we're kind of catching up on our future webinars. This week, Wednesday, February 2nd, is our CWS webinar where you and Susan are going to be talking about the USA's Pluto return. And this
First time ever in
First
the history
time
of
ever.
the America.
very
First
cool.
time. And we compare it to the three Pluto returns of England.
Okay.
Interesting data we have to share, and what we have to look at. The only thing we have to look at is when Pluto was opposing Pluto in the United States chart, which was in 1937. So we'll expect something, and we're seeing it happening. We're seeing all that happening now, where fatigue, and that was right after the Big Depression, where the United States, folks, the natives were depressed and
Exhausted,
exhausted, and here we are, exhausted and depleted, and
Right.
disappointed, disgusted, on us with a pandemic.
Right. And also on, more of a societal scale too. It's, environmental. There are so many things that are really coming up to the surface that are major issues that we're needing to look at as a country. So,
And
so
then,
I think that's going to be a really interesting discussion.
Mhm.
So there is a little, and I've, in pretty much putting up this webinar as I normally do, we normally have a personal chart associated with all of the CWS webinars. However, since this is really a transit just for, the USA's chart, we're not going to be having any personal chart work along with this webinar. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So we have taken that off the option for this month's webinar. But it is going to be really interesting information if you are curious about that. Link is in the description, of course. So March 2nd, we are going to be starting our Constellation Bracelet Workshop. That's for the spring equinox, the freshest of the year, the astrological lunar new year as well. So we would love to have you. If you are considering it, that link is in the description. It will give you a little bit more information. And of course, you can email me, alex@intentionbeats.com.
And this is the one program that we have built that you work directly with me over 12 sessions in about a 6-week period, from new moon through the solstice to the full moon to another new moon to the another full moon. So, and then a lot of different aspects that are going on in between this period of time, and how it links to your personal chart.
You get your
affirmation,
talisman, your constellation bracelet. You get a worksheet. You also get to work. Right, your workbook.
And you don't know, I wrote something down this morning. I got inspired for this new thought that I'm going to share with you. We're going to do something slightly different.
Okay.
Same, but an add-on.
But what I also love about this constellation is that it is a small group, and the small group really comes together and melds because we're all learning together. We're all living, this...
Living together.
Whatever. We're not living together.
Well, no, because some of them are at 6 a.m. and some are at midnight. So
Right.
we're all like, okay, pajama party.
Virtually living together. But yes, we would love to have you. So sign up there. And then I think I'm just at the bottom of the horizon, which is the 2023 retreat. We do have the early bird still available for January 21st through the 28th. That is the group number 2. So
and it's already filling up. I got another sign up this past week.
Oh, wow. It's really happening. This is wonderful. So yeah, let's just jump into our house, right?
Well, where are we talking about changing of the gods?
Oh, yes. Let's talk about that.
That is my new, and which should be everybody's new. So jump on, hang on. Let's see, where do I start? Changing of the Gods.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard of it. If you're in the astrology world, you may have.
Right.
I'm going to go back to
It's a documentary. It's
Yeah.
a 10-part series documentary, and they're discussing, basically what we were just talking about with the USA's Pluto return. It's that societal change and uproar, and the really having to look at these big issues that are coming up.
Changing of the Gods is a 10-part documentary series that uses the lens of archetypal astrology to paint a sweeping journey across historical cycles of revolution and world-changing transformations that deliver us into the fierce urgency of now.
Exactly what I just said.
Yeah, well, I'm reading from their website.
No, that's beautifully written.
Yeah.
That's
It's
really
like the
beautifully
series
written.
focuses on today's world transit of the planets Uranus and Pluto, which together archetypically reflect revolutionary transformation. So, we're going to be looking, this is 10 parts. Now, it is not going to be shown in movie theaters around the country. They have decided to promote this as an independent film. Well, it's not even one film. It's 10 parts. Now, being part of a group, I caught the first episode last night and then saw a panel of Dr. Richard Tarnas, Becca Tarnas' daughter, and the producer-director. So his name is Kenny Oswald, and he is the co-director, producer, and writer, and it's taken 9 years.
Wow. That's
to-
dedication right there.
Yeah. And so what they're doing, if you can, anyone, it's free. They showed the first episode. They're trying to use, I think this is their strategy, is to use astrologers to share this information. And you go to changingofthegods.com, and there'll be a section on here where you can put your email address. And on February 7th is when you'll get on a waiting list up until the February 7th. And then on February, I think it's 22nd, they'll start pushing out one day the first episode, and it'll be running all day.
Oh,
and then
cool.
the second day, the second episode, running all day. And so I think there's a 10-day for the 10-part. And I think what they're doing is, if I understood this correctly, I don't see it on the website, when they were discussing it last night in this live panel, that there'll be one solid day that they'll have all 10 being aired, and then it'll go away.
Oh, wow.
So get on their wait list. And what the waiting list is just it gets you on the subscriber list.
Right.
And
then they'll notify you when it's coming up.
Yeah, and they'll notify you. They got these dates already, and of course, it's astrologically timed.
And I'm, of course, going to add that link in the description for everyone that's listening in who's curious about this. And I watched the trailer, and it's very great videography, great documentary. I'm excited to watch it.
How the cosmos is creating the psyche of the world. And I like what Becca said, Becca Tarnas, is that we are in survival mode. And it's not just us individually, it's the planet.
Well, and another thing that I saw, since we are a solar system that's kind of traveling through the universe at a very strong speed, what they show is this like heliocentric look of the sun traveling through space, like kind of like left to right, you could imagine it, and then all of the planets as they're swirling around the sun totally looks like some sort of like, that the DNA pattern. And it's just, you can see so many patterns that are macro in the universe and in these huge ginormous planets that we can't even fathom how big they are, to the micro of how we are constructed. It's just a beautiful reminder of how everything is connected and how intricate this work is, from this creator that has done it all. So I love those reminders. And so I have a feeling that this is not only going to be, you know, a great timestamp of what's going on in our world, it's also going to give us a little bit of that inspiration, you know, that personal inspiration that we can make a difference. We can make a change. We don't need to be, you know, we don't need to, you know, reserve ourselves or give up yet because it's too much of an undertaking. So,
and just as a comment, this Kenny Asubul, not only is he the co-director, producer, and writer that has been working on this for 9 years, he is also the co-founder of Seeds of Change, which is this is a biodiversity organic seed company that was just recently bought by M&M Mars. And he also is the founder of Bioneers. And
right.
We've watched quite a few, which is, you know, the conference and radio series of, you know, expansion of new technology, new ways. Anyway, it's a must. Everybody needs to watch this, and they're trying to figure out how to get it out so every viewer in the world can watch this. So
yeah.
Start here.
Click that link in the description, and we would love for you to join. Let's move into our house. We have been cheering on our Bengals. That's, you know, if you're not a huge football fan, kind of like we are, but we grew up in those, in the fields of
Bengal territory. Yeah. And so, when I kind of caught it, my family was all like, all these texts were coming through a couple weeks ago. I'm like, what up, family? And they're like, yeah, oh my gosh, he's on the 4th yard line. I'm like, what's going on? Because I'm not really in the sports world anymore.
Right.
I don't have a man in my life, so I don't really watching sports.
Right.
And I caught it, and the Bengals won. Oh my gosh. And then they won again this past week. And I got this, I think it was you who literally said, we got Eye of the Tiger beads. You know, I made that cane years ago for the Bengals, and so we kind of pushed it out there. We did a really quick pop-up for she beads and started the it was funny because we don't want to use, you know,
any of the copyrighted material.
Who day going to beat them Bengals, right? That's been like a 70s
their slogan,
march, right?
Yeah,
who day. And so we decided not to use Bengals because
you
that's
wanted
a
to
trademark.
change it to Who Dat,
which was not very welcoming in that community because
no,
they're like, you guys got it wrong.
You got it wrong. You're not a fan. You got it wrong. And I had to explain to everyone that we just did not want to, you know, overstep any copyrights and
any IP trademark lines.
We wanted it to be close enough
yeah.
where they could understand, like, oh, that's what they were going for. But no, everyone just thought we got it wrong.
Well, Mercury's retrograde. I'm going to blame it on that. But what they don't understand is copywriting,
right?
The marketing, the real true business to business marketing. Okay, so that's still going on.
Yes. It is. And hopefully this Sunday, because they
would have played already. Once you listen to this,
right.
They would have played.
So,
hopefully we're still making Bengal beats.
Right. Well, no. But if the Bengals do make it to the Super Bowl, this will be the only 3rd time in Bengal history that they will be going to the Super Bowl. And they've never won it. So who knows? Who knows the possibility?
Who dat knows?
Who they knows? But before in the episode, because I don't want to leave everyone hanging on this, you did mention about the dancing with the new moon. And so I want to quick mention why we said that. And it's just been really funny because my boyfriend...
You've been over there smiling and laughing this whole morning.
My boyfriend and I have a shared calendar, and he doesn't normally know a whole lot of, like, you know, the moon cycle. I always will point out the new moon, the full moon, what's going on. And I think he's starting to pick it up. And on our calendar with the new moon and full moon for the next couple of months, he has created an emoji-filled calendar invite for me of the new moon dance. Wait, let's double check this. It is the new moon
Because you guys live really close to the Lake Michigan, so
Right.
you can walk over to the beach.
Right. So January 31st, we shall dance emojis, and howl out loud, wolf emojis. So I'm very excited for whatever is going to be happening. It's going to be late. That new moon is happening at 11:46 local time. But yeah, that's why I've been smiling and giggling over here, because I'm surprised and also very excited. But that doesn't even come close to how I feel about what we discussed in our house last week, which was the huge opportunity that my brother has received to interview 7 different times.
The 8th time was in person.
A big
job opportunity.
Big golf job opportunity. So take it away, Mama.
So we had to fly to Louisville, Kentucky. I have to make him practice that a couple times. And nailed it. Got the job. They offered him the job. Woo-hoo! So he got the offer letter, looked it over, accepted the job. I mean, of course.
Right.
This is Valhalla.
Right.
This is Valhalla Country Club, which is the Ryder Cup. Has held several PGA tournaments, and what they're doing is needing to get somebody on board early enough, which is, here we are 2022, get somebody on early enough that is very comfortable with it with the operations of this golf high-end golf club, so that the PGA is coming back in 2024. So there's in 2 years, the PGA tournament. So Andrew's going to be, on headset talking with, who's up next, and organizing, the Tiger Woods and who else there is.
Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
Wows.
And he knows one of them. We'll see if that guy ends up coming to the tournament. But anyway, Andrew got the job. Yay.
And
it was
so
really
excited.
Interesting, because I was really looking at his chart, looking like, I don't know the other kids. There was 143 other resumes that had entered the race, and it got knocked down. And Andrew kept. In fact, the comment was that he was quite impressive throughout the entire interview process. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know what the other kids. There were 2 at the end, and I didn't know what the other. Andrew didn't know who the other kid was, much less me know his, birth chart.
Right.
So looking at Andrew's chart, I was just like, man, it just looks like, Mercury's retrograde. Yeah, well, Andrew has a Mercury retrograde in Virgo. So it was making a trine to his Mercury in Virgo. And just, it was like, I don't know, I really think Andrew has the leg up here. And, he nailed it. So congratulations, Andrew. He'll be moving to Kentucky, and which is so cool for him, because it will not be seasonal. It is a full year, or what? Round, the whole year. What do you say that? How do you say
round?
That? Year round. Year round.
And it really is. It's something that
so close to the Midwest, where he was. That was his dream. It was his goal. He had to go get some notoriety.
Close to family.
He had to get some experience at some of the clubs and he's been only working at, really nice high-end clubs.
Very, extremely nice, where you could sleep, bring a comforter out to the fairway. The fairway grass is that beautifully carpeted. I mean, it's gorgeous. So
congratulations to that. I want to talk about 2 more things. Do we have time?
Yes.
They're pertinent for what's going on in the sky right now.
Take it away.
Today I read, I get my skimmed. And today we had we're recording. You guys are listening to it the week of January 31st through February 6th. But today, because the day we're recording this, is the Mercury retrograde conjunct Pluto. And this is what showed up in the news this morning, is that books are being banned. And so they're coming off shelves in some of the schools, the school shelves. They're not being taught. They're not even being addressed. And when any time we're looking at Pluto, we're looking at something that could be possibly taboo. something that is the dark, something that is holds a mysterious, not to be talked about, not to be discussed, subject matter. And sure enough, here we are coming off of, this placement where, books are banned from school shelves. It was just reported today. Some people are judging the book by its cover. That Black authors, the Holocaust subjects, critical race theory, gender, the LGBTQ plus, anything that is progressive topics, they're taking out of the classrooms. But isn't this where curiosity is stimulated at early ages? Isn't this to gather the thirst of children? So, Pluto is here found in the taboo subjects, as I mentioned, the shadow material. So just really interesting that the written word has backed up into Pluto, the exterminator. So just interesting that news came out today as we had this, and again, this was on Friday, January 28th. And I know we're a little bit beyond it, but interesting information.
You're right.
The other thing I want to talk about that I also got from Skimmed, which was a couple weeks ago that I was waiting to talk about. I like to do things in the news that have a reflection of what's going on in the astrology, which is such the changing of the gods on a big scale. But this was out on Skimmed on January 12th. Who's making history again? Maya Angelou. On Monday, the U.S. Mint announced it's begun shipping quarters with Angelou's face on them.
Ooh.
The new quarter, and this is the Venus retrograde, right? The Venus retrograde, particularly in Capricorn, which is of material use, right? The new quarter is the first in its American Woman Quarters program. The Mint will issue 20 quarters over the next 4 years to honor women who've shaped American history. Think Sally Ride, Anna May Wong, and so on. We're to be seeing the list soon. Now, this new quarter shows Angelou with her arms uplifted and a rising sun and a bird behind her.
Oh, wow.
Inspired by her poetry.
That is so cool.
So girls, young girls, grandmas, women, men, everybody collect these. Give these to your grandchildren.
Right. Honestly.
Give them to the boys. Give them to the girls. This is a keepsake. You are going to get the first minted quarter here in 2022.
That is so cool.
After this Venus retrograde, and it's so funny that they're going to, in the 8-year cycle, the 4-year cycle, and they're going to be, minting these over a 4-year cycle. Wow. Oh my God, I couldn't wait to tell you that.
Oh, that
you
is
didn't
very
know
cool.
that,
No,
right?
I did not know that. Yeah, that is so, and it's so beautifully aligned with our Venus heliacal rise that, every woman that joined live was speaking in this wonderful feminine power that just, made me proud. And this minting of these quarters is also making me proud, just putting a woman's face on that. Just, it really does. It's so small and it's so minimum, but it's so meaningful.
So I'll catch you up on every time something new comes out and when it comes out so that you can go grab.
Yes, I want to grab them.
Go grab a handful of them, and these would be just their quarter gifts. But man, they're so worth so much more in the inspiration. And they're starting with Maya Angelou, she had a difficult upbringing, very difficult. In fact, she lost her voice for many years because of some trauma she had when she was younger. I don't know the whole story, or I don't remember the whole story when I was doing some research on her years ago, that her astrological chart is that she wrote, she's a writer of beautiful words, and she became a very well-known poet, and she is known for that. So, to come and be the first woman in this series of what you think and what you write. Wow, words are powerful. Right. Don't we know that?
Yes, we do know that. And we are consistently reminded.
remind me. I'm going to write this down. I want to read a poem of hers next week.
Okay,
Next
sounds good.
podcast. Yep.
All right, everybody, that is the wrap to our episode this week. Thank you so much for listening in. Remember, head over to wherever you listen to your podcast, give us a review, share us with your friends. We would love to expand our tribe and our reach. So thank you again for listening, and we will see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Sign up for Changing of the Gods. Bye, everybody.
And so you finally know you control where